Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Sterns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Now for what's tipping the scales, there are some brand new developments in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Investigators now revealing she was strangled to death. Her body found in a wooded area back in March, just days after she was reported missing. Court TV has been pouring through those newly released documents that also indicate that the 13-year-old's body showed signs of decomposition on one side of her face and on her hands. Now, Stephan Sterns, her mom's boyfriend, has been accused of murdering Madeline. He's also accused of a slew of sex crimes charges pertaining to Madeline after investigators said they discovered thousands of disturbing pictures and videos collected from his cell phone. Now, Sterns has maintained his innocence, pleading not guilty to all of the charges. Here to break it all down, let me welcome back in criminal defense and civil rights attorney Casey Early, and want to welcome in Court TV digital producer Lauren Silver. Lauren, I want to start with you, please, as you have been really pouring through these documents. Would you walk us through some of the biggest takeaways that you had in going through these and the questions that we've been really waiting for quite some time to get answers to?
Sure. Thank you for having me. So we knew that her body was found on March 1st, days after she was reported missing on February 26th. We knew she was found in a wooded area, but this is the first time we're hearing about the condition her body was in and anything about the autopsy. Those had been sealed. So we now know when the body was found, they did note decomposition to half of her face and to her hands. We do not know if that was because of injury or because of just the environment in Florida. Investigators noted that the bottoms of her socks were completely clean. She had been wearing Crocs, but there was no dirt on the bottom of her socks, which means to them that she did not walk to where she was found. She had to have been carried there. The medical examiner also immediately noted at the scene that the right portion of the hyoid bone was not intact. That is a bone in your neck that generally indicates strangulation, but it wasn't until several weeks later that she was, in fact, ruled a homicide by strangulation.
That's so huge. All of this so huge, Lauren. The hyoid bone, that's something I can remember just listening to discussions that Dr. Cyril Wecht would have. That's such an indication. Whenever I hear that bone is fractured, I think strangulation because of what he's taught me. And so now when we think about this, we are wondering, does this perhaps, investigators have known these things, the public, it's new to us, right? Does it change in any way the case against Stephan Sterns? And do we think that perhaps Mom might be charged at some point? In what came out yesterday, I know it was revealed that Mom knew they were sleeping, together in the same bed. She didn't like it, she said. She said she didn't have much of a sex life with Stephan Sterns, but knew of that close contact with Madeline. Casey, let me go to you on this. Your thoughts, do you think we're going to see Mom brought in?
I think there needs to be a deeper investigation into Mom, because every time I think about Madeline, I think about my own daughter, who's 13 years old right now. And then you can do a comparison about what's inappropriate and what's appropriate. And in this case, everything that I hear is inappropriate. The fact that he's not even a biological father, he's just a boyfriend, not stepdad, so to speak, because the relationship wasn't long enough. But the fact that she didn't see anything wrong with it, you don't have a sex life, but you're in the same bed with a 13-year-old girl. And then the totality of the circumstances, when you're thinking mitigation as a defense attorney, if there's a lot of evidence, whether it's circumstantial or direct evidence, then you want to mitigate. But then you look at all of the evidence against him, the photos that was captured on his phone, the inappropriate photos, the sexual photos, and everything that we're hearing. This is a difficult case, but it's also a sad case. I do a lot of sex cases, and one thing I conduct of my defendants is a psychosexual evaluation, because it goes deeper and it shows a different side of the defendant for purposes of mitigation. So of course, law enforcement would need to investigate mom further because there's some things that were inappropriate that mom should have known better.
You're right, Casey. Mom should have known better. Lauren, let me go back to you. Tell us a little bit about some other details that you were able to glean from those documents you were reading yesterday.
Well, every time we get a new document, we seem to get more information about what police have been given by Jennifer Soto, her descriptions of her relationship with Stephan, and Stephan's relationship with Madeline. We did know they sort of had an on-again, off-again relationship. In the most recent interviews, she told them that they broke up because he was, quote, a messy person. And Jennifer told police that they rarely, if ever, had sex. She described it as vanilla if they did, but she did say that he very much wanted to have anal sex, which she was not interested in. And in terms of having her daughter sleep in the bed, she admitted to having her daughter sleep in the bed. In fact, the night before she disappeared, she said that she had sent her daughter to sleep in Stephan's bed. And when police pushed her about that, she then said that she wasn't really comfortable with him sleeping in Stephan's bed, but she said that it was a selfish move because she wanted a good night's sleep. So sort of turning around, admitting that it was a poor idea. She also, in later interviews, described Stephan as a, quote, master liar and a master manipulator, but didn't go into any details about why she may be saying that. I would be very curious about what in their relationship made her say that.
Oh, wow. Lauren, this is sickening. So let's back up a second. Casey, mom tells police that she wanted to get a good night's sleep. And we remember Madeline had a birthday party. So she sends her daughter in to sleep with her boyfriend so she can sleep alone and have a good snooze. Your reaction to that?
Red flag, red flag, red flag. And this is why mom needs to be investigated further. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You want a good night's sleep, so you put the priorities of you over your child. Parents are nurturers, and we have this ability to know what's right versus what's wrong. So that just doesn't sit well with me. And it appears that as she speaks further and investigate it further, you hear things, it's like, that's not right. Something doesn't seem right. So I do believe another interview or investigation, deeper investigation, should be required so that we can find out what, if anything else, occurred in this household during that time that they were together.
Exactly, Casey. Lauren, back to you, please. There was a reference to an anesthetic that was found in the searching of Stephan Sterns' electronics. What did you learn about that?
So the information coming out of what's been found on Stephan Sterns' phones and electronics has mostly been limited to descriptions of thousands of pictures of minors engaged in sexual acts. But now we are hearing that he searched a drug called sevoflurane multiple times, and that he searched it with the term show up in drug test. So I did look it up. Sevoflurane is an anesthetic. It's used in general surgery and is only used under the direction of a doctor, like via IV. This is not a drug you could pick up at a CVS or a Walgreens. So we don't know in what context this was, but I do think it's worth noting that while we have gotten confirmation that Madeline Sterns was strangled to death, we have not gotten any kind of toxicology report. So we don't know what her hormone levels were, if there were any drugs in her system, or if there was anything else going on there. So this adds a lot of questions, not a lot of answers.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point, Lauren. And I remember hearing that these reports would be under seal. Her cause of death would be under seal for some time in Florida, something that had to do with the fact that this might have occurred in the context of a domestic situation. Casey, if you know, can you shed a little bit of light on why now may we be seeing these documents unsealed in Florida on this one when we thought we wouldn't ever get to see them anytime soon?
Well, it depends, especially with sexual cases, whether you're dealing with sexual battery with minors or sexual battery with victims who are over the age of 18 but intoxicated or heavily induced by drugs. Priority is protecting the identity of the alleged victim in this case, but also protecting the integrity of the investigation, especially if it's ongoing. And then obviously once you get to the discovery phase and the investigation is complete, some of these documents are made available. So it depends on the status of the case, but oftentimes with sexual cases, they're usually under seal for those reasons.
For identity purposes. Casey, thank you for that. So now we wait to see if Jennifer Soto is going to be charged. Lauren Silver, lastly to you, was there any response or anything? Has Jennifer Soto said anything publicly since the document dropped yesterday?
She has not said anything public. She notes in the interviews with police that she has been hiding, that she is not going out of the house. She is staying with family. She is scared. And police do note after every interview that they do believe she did not have knowledge of any of this.
Appreciate it. This has been such a great discussion with you both. Lauren Silver, Casey Early, thank you both so much.